in North City, we wanted to bring you an update from our backyard. We cleaned it up for you, so there's not weird things
It's not normally
in the
this
shot.
clean.
No, it's really not. We wanted to give you an update about where we're at with COVID-19 as far as what we know, and just to make sure that we're all on the same page of really answering the question, where do we go from here? You heard from us about a month ago, and we wanted to give you an update with things like gatherings and kind of some of the norms a little bit. So we just realized that the current state of affairs is going to be like this for a while. For the foreseeable future, a few months, we're not exactly sure the timeline, obviously. We're following guidelines from the state. We've been meeting with the leadership team, and we wanted to bring you the news that we are just simply trying to make a plan, sort of phases of when we're going to be gathering and what that would look like in safe ways as following the state's guidelines. So we're sort of thinking about creative ways to do that that might look different than just simply meeting at Loring, because that's a group of 50 plus. So as sort of incremental news comes out that we can gather in smaller groups, we're thinking of creative ways to do that. And you'll be the first to know as we roll those out. So as of right now, we're doing everything online, keeping all of our gatherings digital, but we are thinking about that plan come summer or whatever the best advised timeline is from the state.
Yeah, we'd love to have more firm answers right now, but we are just going to keep going in the uncertainty, trusting God, and taking this one step at a time. So thank you for your patience in this. Thank you for participating in these ways. We also want to just bring your attention to some things happening on our staff, some transitions, specifically Adobe Nduka, who is our family life coordinator and operations coordinator, who we all dearly love. We knew we were getting her leadership on borrowed time, if you will. Family life is not a specific central calling of hers as a pastor, and she has always wanted to do more in her ministry. And she, about a month ago or so, told Christian Ann and I she was just sensing there was a next phase in her ministry and development. She told us, I can serve in this role at North City until the end of May. So May 22nd will be her last Sunday with us in the role that she's in. Adobe's communicated she'd like to be a part of our community after that, just not in the role that she's playing now, which I'm so overjoyed about, because I love that our community can be a community that supports her, that encourages her. You all know she's a fantastic preacher. She has many other gifts that expand way beyond the role she plays right now. So I'm excited to journey with her as she discerns what's next. But at the same time, we are entering into a process with our family life team. This is already an odd time in family life right now because of COVID-19.
Yeah.
So for the next few months, we might be just having the team lead what we do in family life to give us some space to really listen to God about what's next for the family life ministry. So pray for Adobe, pray for her as she's discerning what's next, and when we can give her a hug, we will give her the biggest hug. And we're so grateful for all that she's done in our community and how deeply she's shaped our community, even in the short time that she was playing this role on our staff. So.
Yeah, and so next week we have a little different gathering format we want to let you know about. It's Bagels and Bibles, which I know you all loved when we did this at Loring not that long ago.
Who does not love bagels?
Well, gluten-free people.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Sorry.
So, but you're in control of that now.
Yeah.
You get to provide the gluten-free option. So it's more of a study and discussion format, and we would really encourage you to come. We have some creative ways that we want to join in with that with you.
Yeah, stay tuned this week. We'll give you some instructions about how to join in that unique online gathering for sure. We want to just also give you an update about our baby coming. So
what?
The frame's probably like right here, so you can't see, but
Secret
Christian
pregnancy.
is pregnant.
8
so
months. 8 months pregnant.
8 months pregnant.
Yep.
Our due date is in June, and we're in a unique position at North City. You have pastors who are married to each other, so we are going to go on maternity paternity leave at the same time. And we just wanted you to know that we've got plans in place. We've already been speaking to some of you to step up into some of our responsibilities. We also have great partner churches that are going to step in and fill some of our responsibilities while we're taking the appropriate time to be with our next little one. And we just so appreciate you all giving us the chance to do that, and wanted to give you a heads up about that we're expecting in the next few weeks here. But in June time, expect to see some different faces preaching, different faces in spaces that we would normally be in this summer.
Yeah. Thanks for your prayer and support of us. It really means a lot, guys. And we just want to say bless you in this time. And please don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything from us to be able to support you during this bizarre days that we are in.
Okay, was that good?
I think we should do it again.
Didn't do any announcements. Just remember, you didn't film any announcements before this.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's right.
I see that you slid the bagels and Bible in there, but I mentioned that because I think we talked about doing announcements first, and then into this. So that was a really good run. I feel like we said probably, and myself included, spent about like 150% of the time that we probably should have taken on each of the announcements.
I think you're right.
I'll try to be more concise.
So announcements is just the love the neighbor thing.
Yeah, I really, with the gathering stuff, this is more about reassurance than detail. So we just say we don't know when gathering will be safe, but we want you to know. Yeah,
let's just do it again. And I forgot about the announcement stuff. So.
Everything's rolling, so this just takes.
Okay. Hey, North City, we just have a few announcements, things to keep you updated on the current state of affairs of North City Church. One is that Nicole Price and I, a leadership team member, had a great conversation about ways to love your neighbor creatively in this time. We did a Zoom call, and JD put together a really cool graphic. Ooh. So check it out. We made it into a podcast. We know there's a lot of different things we could be doing. So the thing that I want you to hear is just pick one of those things. One or two. You don't need to do all of them. Mm-hmm. You already feel overwhelmed. So, but we also don't want to stop living out our mission as a church to love our neighbors in the way of Jesus. So just wanted to draw your attention to that. And we also...
Next week.
What? Oh, okay.
Sorry, we can start.
I was going to say, that was rude. It felt rude. It's like, stop. What are you... Okay, you want me to do that now?
You were like floundering for what's next. I'm like, it's bagel and Bible and bagels.
I was going to just, I was moving into that.
Because it's an announcement, not
bagel and Bible.
It doesn't relate to bigger staff transitions. So, a couple things. Oh, that's a cool bird trying to make a nest.
That's fine. With the netting.
I don't think it's gonna work there, bro.
That's fine. I was like, who is trying to get in and out of our window? Oh, it's a robin, I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's do that again.
Are you sure it's cardinalish? Okay.
All right. Birdie distraction.
Distraction.
Bird. Okay, here we go. Welcome to our backyard. Welcome to our backyard. Hey, North City, welcome to our backyard.
Welcome.
We cleaned it up for you.
It doesn't normally look
this
good.
Look at that cool flower thing. We built that yesterday.
She built that.
No, he did.
I put it up. She did the rest.
Anyway, we just want to give you a few updates of things happening in your church and things to be aware of. One, next week is going to look a little different. We're doing bagels and Bibles, so you bring the bagel and the Bible.
BYOB. Bring your own bagel and Bible.
Yeah. So it's a little more of a discussion format, and JD's going to be leading us in that time, and we would love for you to participate. There's sort of some creative ways that we would love for you to join in that time.
Yes, and please some grace in advance. We're going to try a new thing to connect digitally instead of have a pre-recorded service, or partially connect digitally. So stay tuned about how to participate in that.
Yeah, and not that long ago, Nicole Price and I had a really great conversation. She's one of our leadership team members who's helping us think about community engagement and community life. And so we were asking the question, how do we love our neighbors in the way of Jesus in this time in particular? So there's a great infographic, a podcast, and a little Zoom video call that you can look at. We would love for you to pick one of those things. Mm-hmm. Not all of them, but something that sparks your creativity to love your neighbor and to keep living out our mission over the next month. So it's time. We have an update.
It's time.
Guess what? We're pregnant. No.
It's a little late for that.
We just want to give you a few updates. One on COVID-19, and kind of you might be wondering about our maternity-paternity leave as well. So first, COVID-19. We just want to state the obvious. Maybe it feels obvious to you that things are going to be like this for a little bit. A while. We're sort of preparing for the longer term. And so we've been in conversations with the leadership team and following guidelines from state officials. And so for right now, our gatherings are still going to remain digital. Discipleship tables, Sunday gatherings, things like that. And yet when some of those guidelines are lifted, or the stay-at-home order and things in that regard, we are thinking of creative ways to gather in smaller groups.
Yeah.
We know we might not be worshiping all together in Loring for a lot of different reasons. One, that's dependent on the school's timeline, things like that. But come this summer, we're open to other ways. And so we've been brainstorming those things, and we're just trying to prioritize being safe together and yet still trying to gather as we get our feet underneath ourselves and listen to the guidelines that the state provides.
I would just say we're not going to try to rush back to normal. We're going to try to embrace this unique situation and maybe try some different ways of gathering together when it's safe to do so. So stay tuned. Thanks for being patient in this. Thanks for participating in these ways. Thanks for staying connected.
Yeah.
So I just want to give you another update. So we, in this time, already had some staff transitions coming up, and one of those is Adobe and Duca, who is our family life and operations coordinator.
Who loves Adobe? Whoop, whoop.
We are huge Adobe fans, which is part of why this makes this announcement bittersweet. Is about 2 months ago, Adobe came to Christian Ann and I and just let us know that she was sensing that she wanted to transition to some other ministry experience or next iteration of her calling. And we had always known that we were on borrowed leadership time with Adobe because family life isn't her main calling as a pastor. As many of you know, hearing her preach, she's a really gifted preacher. So we're so influenced by her, and this church has been shaped by her leadership in the beginning. And this won't be hopefully the end of her participation with North City. It'll just be the end in May 22nd of her role in family life and operations coordinator, which is great because we as a community get to be with her and walk with her into this next season that she feels called as a pastor, and supporting her. So next time you see her, when it's safe, give her a huge hug, shoot her a note of encouragement, and thank you while she's with us. Family Life team, and for parents, if you're wondering what this means for the Family Life ministry, because times are so unique right now, we as a Family Life team will do what we need to do to keep going forward in family life and equipping you as parents and loving our kids. It will also give us some time to think about what's next for family life, and if that staff role needs to change or enhance in the future. So stay tuned on that. Thank you, Adobe, for your time with us. Be sure to pass along a note to her.
Yeah, so baby is due in June, June 6th. Who knows? Could be earlier, could be a little later. We just want to say that we've been making preparations to make sure we're not leaving you guys hanging. So we've been talking with some people already about ways that they can fill some of our role, but we also have fantastic partner churches who are willing to come alongside. And so you're going to see some different faces for the sermons and for participation in the service. But we just want to encourage you and thank you for supporting us in this way, and just to kind of remind you that that transition is on the horizon as well.
Yeah. Thank you all.